the FNL Network talk show.
Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of the FNL Network talk show. I'm Cat Jolleys, and I'm joined today by the most amazing panel of hosts. We have Estefania, we have Marianne, and we have Jeff. And before we go any further, one of our hosts has got a bit of bling on her finger since last time. So Estefania, I want to say congratulations on your engagement from myself, your whole FNL Network family. We're so excited for you. So yeah, just congratulations.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, I've been in a long-term relationship, 6 years, so it was about time.
Yeah, congrats!
Bling, bling. We love the bit of bling, so we're super excited for you. And I just wanted to mention that. So congratulations, my angel. How's everyone been this week? You had a good week?
Busy, but it's been a good week. Busy but good. Getting ready for Christmas and just it seems like nonstop, something always going on.
I feel you. That's kind of been my week. And last night I slept for 12 hours. I was like, at last, proper sleep.
Oh,
and
so nice.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. I kind of woke up today and I'm like, I've got a, bit of a leap in my step and I feel great because I was starting to feel it on Friday. So anyway, it's one of my favorite shows today. It is a question each. So we each get to host our own segment. And I love these shows because it is very much, everybody gets involved, it's very diverse and it shows off everybody's personality and interests. So I'm going to start with you, Jeff. We can have your question first, please.
Yeah, I knew you was going to do that. So my question is, FNL is a fashion network lifestyle. So I just thought about that as we're leaving out of 2022 and going into 2023. What is the mood in fashion of the world? And what is the mood with people as their lifestyle change according to what is going on in the world? It's so much going on with people killing people, the issue with Kanye with him because he's an influencer. What do you feel like our transition is with that as we go out of 2022? Because it's always whatever the mood is set, people do that, but are we going to change the narrative? Are we going to just stay and do what the world is actually doing, create like with Balenciaga?
Yeah.
With the bondage.
Balenciaga.
Yeah, so I just wanted to get feedback from you. So I'm going to ask you, I want to say this correctly. Oh my God. How you say it? One more time. How you say it?
Estefania.
Estefania. I'm sorry. Please bleep that. Please, but it's Estefania. What is your issue on that? What is your viewpoint?
I think, the mood for fashion and in general is just so confusing right now. We have the war, we have inflation, we have all these things with Balenciaga. We have, I think we're getting crazier and crazier as the day goes. So I don't know. I think the mood will be like that for 2023. I think it's not going to change much. We're probably going to still be facing this change of moods that we are all having, and celebrities as well. As you said with the Kanye stuff, I know it's a mental problem with him, and it's sad, but that does not justify his attitude. I mean, I have a really strong, well, not strong, but firm point of view about everything that has to be with discrimination and all that stuff. I just think it's not acceptable. It doesn't matter who you are. It's just not acceptable. And so I think that's going to be the mood for 2023. I don't think much will change. I just hope we understand that we need to stop and we need to just make peace with everything that is happening and just move on and just try to be better. All of us as a society, we have to. And celebrities and, leaders, they have to show us the example, they have to lead us so we can have a change. So I think that's pretty much it. That's my opinion. I don't have a huge point of view, but I just think nothing's gonna change much, but hopefully it would get better.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
Yeah.
So, Marianne, what is your point of view? I know you're gonna come and tell how you feel. So, give us your point of view on how you see that with the fashion mood and fashion the mood and just people's lifestyle, the way that, is it going to be the same, controversial, or is it, people going to change the narrative? What is your feel on that?
So here's what I think. The Balenciaga scandal, obviously, I think one of the biggest things that's going on right now. I think it's mind-blowing to see some of the stuff that they're doing. And I do think right now there is like a dark cloud of negativity, and it's just kind of overshadowing everything, including fashion. My hope for 2023 is that there will be a turnaround. That's what I hope. And I'm going to just manifest and envision that for next year, that it's going to turn positive, that we're going to have more creativity, more kindness, and more inclusivity in the fashion industry. Now, there's still going to be negative things, I absolutely think. But sometimes when things like this happen and there's so much bad in the media, I think at times it encourages people to make a change. So that's what I am predicting and hoping, is that we will have positive changes. And to me, fashion is a very individual thing as well. So I think everybody should be celebrated for their uniqueness, their unique style. And I think that they should continue to celebrate diversity and continue to portray that to the rest of the world. My hope and my prediction is that there will be more positives in 2023 for fashion, and that they will try to steer away from all of this negative press, because there's been a lot. There's been so much.
Yes, most definitely. And Cat.
Well, we all know that I love fashion, and this year, we've had some amazing fashions, but with the war and the fact inflation and everything that's going on, there is a big shift towards, shopping for secondhand stuff, sustainability. We saw Kate Middleton, the Princess of Wales, wearing a dress that she rented for the Earth Prize, whatever. I think it was the Earth something or the prize that they just did in Boston, and she rented something. We have so many places you can rent clothes, rent the runway. I'm seeing a lot of influencers, a lot of people I know actually, get outfits delivered every single week and then they send them back. I think there's going to be a lot more of that. I think anything goes. It's whatever you're comfortable with. For me, I'm very much skinny jeans, a basic vest top or t-shirt person, and then I like my accessories. I like my shoes. I like my bags. I like, rings and stuff like that. But I think it's all about individuality. One of my favorite outfits I've seen this year is Kendall Jenner in, I'm going to call them tights, but I think you guys call them pantyhose in the States. And a sweater. She had a sweater and pantyhose and some heels, and she looked amazing. And people are like, she's kind of out in her underwear. I was just like, she looks the bomb. And, I think comfort comes into it. I think people are less about labels. I think people are less extravagant. I think, we are taking a step back. We are more environmentally conscious. We see a lot more vegan brands. And I think veganism, sustainability, recycling, I think it's going to explode, because we've realized that, wait a minute, we're destroying the environment. Fast fashion is on its way out. I predict that fast fashion goes. We have seen a lot of stores, Topshop's gone. Now, Topshop we had over here, but in the UK, it was huge. It's gone. It is no more. Forever 21 and places like that, they are having to downsize. A lot of stuff's gone online. Everything that I see that fast fashion is on its way out. Spend your money on pieces that are going to be timeless. Spend your money on something unique that you really love and you want to wear and wear again. I think fashion is always going to be controversial. There are going to be campaigns that shock. There's going to be clothes that people hate. to talk about the bondage bears, like I mentioned last week, I actually quite like the campaign. I'm not saying that it was a good choice for a powerhouse, you know, in the fashion industry to use that, but it was conversational. If that had been a photograph in an art gallery, it would have got a very different reaction. But the fact that it was selling to the general public, that's why it got backlash. Now, I think, you know, fashion should be about conversation. It should always, you know, if you go to see a runway show, you want to go to the theatre. You don't want to see boring. You want to see extravagant. You know, like a runway show, it should be like watching the Met Gala red carpet. You know, you want to be wowed. But I think in everyday life, we're taking a step back, where we've worked from home for a couple of years now. We do a lot more on Zoom like we're doing now. And I think fashion is embracing being comfortable in your skin, embracing your own unique vibe. You know, like Marianne, you just said that you love hats and you're rocking the hat today. You know, it's about being an individual. And, you know, for me, I like basics. Someone else, you know, they want to dress and they want to be flamboyant. I think fashion in the end of 2022, 2023 is about showcasing yourself. And it is about recycling stuff. You know, wear something till it's in holes and then cut it up and make it into something new. You know, I think we should be recycling stuff. I think a wardrobe should have basics and then you wow them up. I don't think we should be buying a new wardrobe every single month, and we should be spending $10 on something that we wear once and throw away. That time is gone, passé. So fashion, I think right now we're going to be more conscious to the environment, conscious to the messages that we're giving out. But it's about uniqueness, and it's about rocking your own personal style. So that's how I see 2023. I don't think necessarily the big powerhouses are going to be as influential as they have been. I think nowadays for celebrities, that's for the red carpet, it's the talking point, but it's not going to be in the streets. You know, we're not going to see Joe Average like myself running to Forever 21 and trying to recreate what Kim Kardashian's wearing. I don't think we're going to see that. I think it's more personal style as we move into 23.
Yeah, I believe that. My opinion on that is, I feel like as we're ending 2022 and all the red flags have come up with Balenciaga, with Kanye West, I feel like people in the last 2 to 3 years have went through so much that now they know that they have a voice. And I feel as though they're not going to allow the things that they used to just sit back and not say anything. They're going to address it and come to the forefront. So I think I feel like it's going to go back, like you said, to the old traditional fashion. Just when you buy a piece, it never goes out of style. It's something that you can keep in your wardrobe forever. You're always going to have your signature pieces. You're always going to have just the trends that come in. But I think we're going to get back to how we used to appreciate fashion, how we used to appreciate the lifestyle of how we live, and not so much want to be the fast microwave, let's get it quick process and enjoy life and take a deep breath and just be thankful. I feel like that's what we're going back to, because we've just been through so much in the last 3 years that we don't want to go into 2023 with that mindset. So I think the change is happening and people are addressing it, and we're seeing it, and is even allowing people that were in high positions, they're coming down from those positions, and there are people that are coming that are genuine, that love people, that want to see people happy, and they're being put in position. We just haven't seen them totally come to the forefront. They're gradually coming. So that's my opinion on that. I think the change is happening. It's happening slow, but I think in 2023 is going to be a major shift in fashion and the way we just look at life, period. So that's my opinion.
Okay, so because we've mentioned Kanye already, I'm going to go on to my question. As we know, Kanye West has been absolutely everywhere in the press this week. And I'm not talking about the divorce settlement with Kim Kardashian and the fact that he has to pay $200,000 per month on child support. That's a lot of money, but I'm not going there. We are talking about his anti-Semitic tirades, He has been on the very controversial Alex Jones Infowars show, wearing a mask, babbling on, I'm going to say babbling, about Hitler. He likes Hitler. The Nazis have done stuff. He's been, posting swastikas on Twitter, and Elon Musk has actually banned him. But yet, all this has been happening. He's been spiraling big time. And we all know for a while he's been White Lives Matter. He has been quite controversial for a while. And since he split from Kim Kardashian, we've just seen him spiral. But anyway, this week has just been, the volcano has erupted, really has erupted. And there's so much press about it right now. The press are talking about what happened on the Alex Jones show. They're talking about the Twitter story. And there is so much to say on all this. And my question is, should the press be reporting on issues like this? Should they be, putting it out there how he's acting, that he's saying, I like Hitler, I think the Nazis did good stuff, because we all know that people are influenced, and we all know there's a lot of hate crime. We all know that people react to stuff like this. Kanye is a celebrity. Kanye has supporters. Will someone react to the fact that the press are putting it out there that this global icon is, I like Hitler, I like the Nazis? Should the press be reporting this? And my other thing is, obviously, we all know he's bipolar. We all know he has mental issues. Is it fair that the press are reporting this when it can damage the rest of his life? So I want to talk about the press side of this. What are your thoughts on the handling of everything that's happened with Kanye this week? And I'm going to start off with you, Marianne.
All right. My opinion is, I don't think they should be broadcasting it like they are. I think it's inciting a lot of fear. I think it's inciting a lot of negative thoughts and feelings. However, it is, when I see what they're putting out there, it is scary, because to me, when he says, oh, there's things about Hitler that I like, I don't care what Hitler did that was good. He's not good. He wasn't good. He killed so many people. Nothing good came from that man. So to hear him say that, I think that the press likes the shock factor. I think they do it because they like the reaction that people give. More often than not, I don't think the press cares about mental health. I don't think they care. I think they care about what they make, and I think they care about their audience, how many people they can get to grab to watch what they want to put on right in front of everybody. So do I think they should be putting it out there? Probably not. But I think they're going to continue to do so. And as far as the mental health issues, yes, I think this could definitely be making them worse for him. It's like shining a flashlight on someone in the dark and boom, you can see them. There's nothing hidden. They are exposing everything. And I do think it absolutely could wreak havoc on his mental health even more. So it's probably catastrophic for his personal life, and we may never know to what degree, but I don't think it's helping him. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Jeff, what are your thoughts?
The media always gonna keep controversy going because they want two wars going on. It is what excites them. It keeps people unfocused. It keeps them battling amongst each other. And it's unfortunate. It's how the world is. It's another level to me of hatred. People don't realize that because we're not coming together in unity and love. We're more becoming divided. And it's unfortunate that we create those mindsets. I know in them when they're doing it, it's like a fairy tale, but it's people's lives. And, I want the world to come back to be a better place. I feel like we're just so at war with each other that we don't even get to know the person at hand. We automatically want to just stereotype or point fingers because of what the world has put out there. Our mind absorbs stuff very easily. So if if someone's keep putting those things out there, especially with the young kids and millennials, they're going to absorb it and they're going to think it's okay, and it's really not okay. It creates a domino effect for people to want to go out in the world and feel like it's all right to do those things that they're speaking of, that, you know, so many people's lives got that were killed, you know, millions of people's lives behind Hitler, the situation that happened. And it's just, it's hate, it's just mean in your heart. And I don't like it. You know, I'm continuing praying with that situation. But with him, Kanye, period, I think that people need to get him help. You know, I don't think that he needs to be exploited anymore, because he really do have some mental issues. I always look at it as this: when a person gets up on TV with a mask on their face and they're covering their face, that is an issue, because nobody sees your face, and you have a mask on your face and you're walking around in society with your face covered. That is a major issue. That is a cry out for help. And I feel like people need to get him help, you know, instead of exploiting him with the crazy things that he's saying from his mouth. And it's just making it worse for him, and not just him, his kids. You know, his kids going to have to deal with the backlash. So my thing is, I just hope people, you know, look at him from here on out and really somebody pull him aside and say, we need to get you help, because there's things going on in your mind that are just not balanced right now, because there's a chemical imbalance, and he's thinking only out of what in his, you know, in his head. Could be voices or what, we don't really know the extent, but it is a major issue. And right now there is a lot of mental issues going on in the world, and that we need to address in society, period, because of what has happened with COVID and everything else, that there is a cry out. So I'm just praying that he gets help. That's my thing on it. Pull him off that media, sit him down somewhere, because he needs to be sat down. It is what it is.
Absolutely. I've got a lot to say on that, but I'm going to pass the baton on to Estefania, and I'll come back with my thoughts in a minute.
Yeah, I think I agree with what you guys said, but I think we don't realize like the danger of this. Like press just want to make more of it. They just want to capitalize of it, like make it big news, and we don't realize how hurtful it is for people. You know, like we have a war going on. We're not that far from the past, so we have to be really, really careful how we stand and how serious we take this, because of course Kanye is a celebrity. He has everything that he says, good or bad, have an influence in someone. And if one person gets that, you know, it's okay for me doing this, it's okay for me being, you know, saying these comments, or, you know, acting badly against Jews or anyone, they're going to do it. And that's how you keep, you know, like getting more and more and more and more hate. So I think with Kanye, the problem is that we all know that he have mental issues from a long time, but there's no consequence to his acts. So that's what it keeps happening. It keeps happening because it's just like what he said, like I can say anything and no one is going to do anything because I'm me. So if that keeps happening, if we give anyone that type of power or no consequence for his actions, they're going to keep doing it. It's just human nature for me. So I think we have to be really careful with how we react to all of this press, because of course it's going to keep happening. You know, the media always going to keep posting and posting this type of news because that's how they live. I mean, it's their job, of course, but it's in us. What do we say? Okay, this is right and this is wrong, and I don't agree with this. And that's how I want to be informed, because I want to stand in a position where I can say, no, this is wrong, and I do not support this type of attitudes, and I condemn this. You know, that's my point of view with that. As I said before, I don't have much tolerance for that because I don't think it justifies. Nothing justifies hate. So yeah, that's what I think.
Okay, I think the press's treatment of this is absolutely disgusting. I really do. I think, you know, they're all about the cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. They're about making money. It's not about, they've not thought about any of the consequences. We have so much hate crime in the USA. We had the Colorado shooting, which was a hate shooting only a couple of weeks ago. You know, Kanye is a massive influence. He has a lot of followers. It doesn't matter what he does, he has got some followers. We've got a lot of people with mental problems, and there has been research done since the lockdown, since the pandemic, that we have more gun crime, we have more, you know, fatal shootings, we have more mass shootings. People are more unbalanced than they were. And I'm going to say, putting this stuff in the press, doesn't matter if you're saying, you know, what he's saying is completely wrong, you're still putting it on a pedestal, you're still glorifying it. You are potentially the catalyst for somebody to go to a synagogue and shoot the Jews. That's what I think. I am so angry about what the press are doing. You know, on the other side of it, we have his children, Kim Kardashian. It affects all of them. It affects his family. You know, as Jimmy Fallon said, at the moment, we have this black, white supremacist. What sort of message are we putting out there when we're writing about this? You know, it's more or less going back to the Hitler times, where we're saying, okay, it's kind of okay to do this. You know, and the other thing is, you know, this man, obviously, he does have mental issues. He's bipolar. He's got other stuff going on. He's definitely having a very unbalanced episode. And he's actually come out there and said, since he split from Kim Kardashian, the devil's been walking on his shoulder. He's been drinking alcohol. He's been having threesomes with women. Now, if Kanye is medicated for his bipolar, then the alcohol and everything else, boom. At the moment, we have a guy who is acting irrational. Like you said, Jeff, he might have voices in his head. Nobody knows. But this guy, he does. It shouldn't be out there in the press. You know, it's going to affect his future, you know, his children, his relationship with them. And someone somewhere needs to step in and get the guy help. The fact he's a celebrity and nobody will say, take him aside and say, look, Kanye, we need to get you professional help. Perhaps you need to go to a facility for a while and we can help get you back on track. No one's doing that for him, and it's really sad. But you know, right now, just to have all this in the press and the press to be stirring it up and be going, yay, yay, we're going to make some money out of this, brilliant. No, just no, that's the sick world that we live in. Let the guy be. Hopefully he can get his help. Stop glorifying all this, you know, because even if you write negative things about what he's done, someone's, you know, like we have computer games and that where you go and you fire guns at various people and kill people. Somebody resonates with that and then goes and does it in real life. So don't put it out there, you know. I just think it's wrong. I think it's sick, and I feel absolutely really sorry for Kanye right now. I don't agree with anything he's saying about the Nazis and stuff like that, but it's obvious this guy has spiraled right now, and I don't think anybody with mental problems should have it aired to the world. I think that's disgusting, and I think it's a violation of human rights. Doesn't matter if he's the King of England, this person's struggling, don't put it out there. Just no, that's sick, absolutely sick. And that's my 2 cents worth on this. I just think, what are we as a society that we enjoy this? Because we do. If we didn't enjoy it, they wouldn't write about it. They wouldn't be like, hey, this has happened. I mean, it's not a soap opera, it's real life. No. And I'm quite angry with the press right now, because I just think Kanye doesn't deserve it. The person who might be influenced by it, they don't deserve the catalyst. And, you know, his kids, no, they don't deserve it, because whatever, if that's their father that is being written about, and, you know, to do with Hitler and the Nazi stuff, I mean, that was a very sad time in history. It was a diabolical time in history. You know, to associate him with that and for his kids to have that, you know, forced on them. No. Well, it just says what we are as people. We are disgusting, and the press are disgusting. And I'm so angry with it. I really am passionate and angry about press's treatment of this. I just know it's wrong. And that's what I've got to say on this. Has anybody got anything they would like to add?
Kat, I think you're spot on. I think you are absolutely spot on. He deserves privacy just like everybody else. And granted, I understand he's going to be in the spotlight a lot more than most people, but this is different. And I completely agree with you on this, is that they shouldn't be making money off of somebody's pain. And agreed that it's not right what he's saying about Hitler. I'm going to stand by that and say Hitler was not good. There's nothing good about him. It is quite scary to hear him saying these things, but I don't think they should be said in the media anyway. I think they should just leave this part of him alone. And it is. I agree with what you said about his children. It's probably going to be traumatizing for them too. You know, it's like a lot of people in the media, if not all, who are into the advertising part where they're trying to get an audience, they don't think about anybody else. They don't think about how it's going to affect that person or their family or their home life. All they're thinking about is that money. Like you said, it's a cha-ching, like you said. It's the money. And making money off of misery is, I don't think, a good idea at all.
No, it's disgusting. I mean, imagine when his kids go to high school and people are like, oh, your father said this. Mm-hmm. And it's just going to escalate to bullying of these children. You know, like you said, the guy is struggling at the moment. He's struggling mentally. Just leave it alone. No person who's got any kind of mental illness deserves to be showcased like that, because it's wrong. Everybody struggles. And, you know, if you are going through a mental episode, it should not be broadcast. It doesn't matter if you're Kanye, if you're God, for example. It doesn't matter. Everyone deserves their privacy. Everyone goes through troubles. Everyone has, you know, a moment in life. Just don't put it out there. Don't destroy this guy's life. Don't put his children in a situation where it might affect their relationship with him in the future. It's just, for entertainment, it's just so wrong on every single aspect.
I agree with you, girls. I completely agree. But on the other side, I mean, I'm in Chicago right now, and recently there was an attack to this Orthodox Jew school bus because of these comments. You know, there's always an audience, and I'm not saying that I justify the media making money out of everything, because that's disgusting, and I completely agree with you. But not justifying, but trying to make it smaller, what Kanye said, I don't agree with that, because this school bus with Orthodox Jews was attacked because of these comments, because of people that support him and his comments. So I don't think that's fair for those kids. I mean, if my kid or any kid were in that bus, I will say, no, like, why? You don't have to support, you don't need to support or be softer with someone just because it's a celebrity or just because something, you know. I think there's a really fine line where you can say, like, okay, I understand you have a mental problem and a mental issue, but there's a limit of what you can say. It doesn't matter who you are. So I think it's really complicated, but I for sure agree with you with the media and the press. They shouldn't just capitalize out of everything or someone's pain. But yeah.
I think what I was trying to say, I don't know if I put it across properly, when I was talking, you know, by the press reporting on this, they are influencing people. Like you said, there was, something happened in Chicago. By them saying that Kanye said this and writing about it, putting in the press, it is Joe Blogs, who might have, might be a Kanye supporter, might be slightly unhinged up here, reacts to it. And like you said, something happened in Chicago. That is the risk of the press reporting this. And when they do report it, they are lighting the match, and they are throwing, the match on the sticks, and the fire just goes boom. And stuff is going to happen. There is a real danger that someone will go and shoot in a synagogue. Like you said, there's been a hate crime happen in Chicago because of this, because of the press reporting. And I just think, what Kanye said was diabolical. It was absolutely diabolical what he said. But I think on subjects that are this sensitive, where people can be influenced by someone else's beliefs, someone else's behavior, they should just shut the F up. And that's what I think, because the press, you know, they've lit the match now. They have lit the match.
I want to say something too about that, especially as Estefania and what she was saying. It's crazy because I feel like they're being strategic. This young man, Kanye, have so many followers. He is a major influencer. So just imagine just two people just grabbing onto what he's saying and going out and do it, becomes a domino effect. I think that they know that he's going to get up on social media. He's going to get up on these TV shows or, you know, these interviews, radio, whatever he's on. They know that he's going to say something that's off key, and that they're using that to create what we already have been experienced in the world as is right now. We've experienced it all our life, and there hasn't been a change. So I feel like people are being strategic on how they're doing it, and they're just using people that are like Kanye. They have mental issues and know that he's gonna say something crazy. So we're gonna use him to create this big, you know, backlash and allow people to like the negative and the positive feed off of it and see how it can create this riffraff. I think it's being very strategic. I don't like it. It's sad. Just like I said, I feel like they really need to pull him, and someone need to grab him and say, you know what? You need to sit down because it's some things going to do. I need to get you help. You don't need to get on no more shows. Nobody need to allow him. They need to love him enough to say, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to have you up on this show. We're not going to do this because we know that there's some things going on with you. And you're going to say something that really could not just jeopardize the world, but jeopardize you as a person, because then you create hate crime against yourself with people coming after you. So it becomes a domino effect. It's just unfortunate. And that's how the world operates. And it's sad. And it, you know, the more y'all talk about it and I'm thinking about it, it's just people being strategic. And it's crazy the way people are thinking, especially in this day and time when so many people are crying out for help. And, you know, we need to quit it. Let's stop it. Let's stop doing the crazy stuff. Let's stop using people as puppets and allowing them to say something crazy and then sit back and see what the effect is, because it's going to be an effect. Something's going to happen. It's a cause and effect. So that's my opinion. I just got, you know, I just love people. It just gets me emotional because I love the world. I just wish they would change. It's crazy the way we treat each other. It's just crazy. So that's my opinion.
No, absolutely. And I also think, you know, like media outlets like Alex Jones and his InfoWars show. I mean, we all know that's a very controversial show as it is, but he basically has used Kanye for viewers. That's what he's done, inviting Kanye onto the show. You're getting viewers, you know, you're getting controversy and stuff like that. And I think, you know, this goes below Kanye. It goes to the producers for InfoWars who are like, hey, do you want to be a guest on the show? You know that you are going to get some kind of explosion, knowing what he's going through right now, knowing that he has been more off balance than he was in the past since he split with Kim Kardashian. You know, we've all seen it. We've seen it escalate. And so by inviting him onto a show, giving him a platform, you are only doing it for viewership. You're doing it for an audience. You're not doing it for any other reason than that. And I think the whole thing's just wrong. I think right now the press need to take a step back. They need to look at themselves in the mirror and realize what they are doing. Because as viewers, you know, we eat it up, we gobble it up, we like the soap opera, but this is real life and this has consequences. And like, you know, we've seen in Chicago, there has been an event that happened because of this, and it could be a lot worse. There could be a diabolical consequence to this. I mean, they just need to shut up right now. So it's just, enough. So anyway, changing the topic, we are going to go to Estefania and we are going to go to the World Cup because we all love football, and congratulations to England who won today and got through to the quarterfinals. So yay to my home country. Anyway, Estefania, over to you, my darling.
Yeah, thank you, Kat. Yeah, well, I grew up watching football. We call it football in my country as well, but soccer here for our American audience. So yeah, well, The World Cup, everything is pretty, everything is nice, but we don't know the stat behind all of these huge events that happen around the world. And the World Cup this year is held in Qatar. And it's a really, really controversial, not just as a country, but, you know, we all know like the human rights and women rights and all type of rights that are violated there. But right now, we saw this news that a lot of immigrant workers died just building these stadiums where the World Cup was going to be held. And that's not it. These stadiums aren't going to be used after the World Cup ends this December 18th. So, you know, millions of dollars, thousands of workers dying just because to build this. And what is the purpose? Just football or just soccer? What do you think about that? What are your thoughts about that? What do you think about all these crazy things that we're talking, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. So I'm gonna start with Kat. I would love to hear you.
Okay, so I think Qatar was a very interesting choice. Like we know, women don't have the same rights as men. They are anti-LGBTQT. And football, it is inclusive. We like the One Love, you know, armbands. People like David Beckham, they have campaigned their whole sporting life to make football, soccer inclusive. And there's been so much going on, you know. Football teams can't wear the One Love armband. They can't celebrate the fact that, you know, there are players who are gay playing. You know, it's more or less like taking a step back in time. And there's lots of things that have gone on which have caused conversations to happen. For example, David Beckham is the biggest hypocrite right now. He has done a massive campaign for a lot of money for Qatar. But yeah, it's everything that he was against. He was very much, you know, football should be inclusive. It should celebrate the sport. It shouldn't matter if you're, you know, you're gay. It shouldn't matter if you're straight. It's about a sport, nothing else. But here he is taking money for this campaign, and it's got people talking. And I think as a venue, bad choice, really bad choice. It's taking a lot away from the game. It's taking a lot away from the tournament and the celebration of this amazing sport, which we all love. And, you know, as far as the migrant workers, there has been so many migrant workers. I think it's like 5,000, 6,000 that have died building this stadium. And like Estefania said, what's happening to the stadium at the end? You know, it's not like Qatar's a big football country. Hopefully they're going to make it into a concert venue, but I don't think that fits in with their lifestyle. You know, they're obviously an Arabic country. They have a very different lifestyle to us, you know, Western people. And you just think, what are they going to do with it? So yeah, right. There's just so much going on here, and there's so much to talk about. You know, there's football fans that turned up and they paid a huge amount of money to live in the you know, the fan accommodation. It wasn't even finished. And there's just, yeah, the whole thing's just badly thought out. I think if you're gonna have a global event, either Qatar has to say, okay, you know, I am hosting this global event, so we are going to accept, you know, that women will wear whatever women want to wear when they come to this event. You know, we're going to embrace the foreigners, and we're going to not say to them, you got to be covered up. You know, you can't rock the rainbow flag. You know, if they're going to host this event, they need to accept that this is the world. And I don't think they should be telling people what to think, what to do, having all these rules and regulations, because they put in an application to host this event. And they need to accept that right now they are a global platform. This isn't about Qatar. This is about the sport. This is about the whole world, everybody that's there competing. And, you know, they might not agree with LGBTQT rights, but they chose to host this event, and football is inclusive. And I just think, yeah, I think it was a really bad choice to host the event there. I do. You know, some people might say that we should respect the culture in Qatar, but like I said, they've chosen to host this global event, and I think they need to accept that it is, you know, sport is all inclusive. We aren't a nation that makes women walk 10 paces behind, that covers up. You know, we respect that about other countries, but if you're hosting this global event, you need to let everybody have a good time, let everybody be who they are and celebrate what this sport is. And this sport is all inclusive, you know, gay, straight, whatever. It is an all inclusive sport. And you've got to embrace the fans too. And the fact they don't sell beer or whatever at the stadium. Most football fans want to drink. You know, I don't agree with drinking too much and the fights that might go on like they do in the UK, but I think, you know, people are there to have a good time. Let them have a good time.
Yeah. On that note, yes, and they compromised, you know, they realized this is a global event. So they said, okay, yeah, we allowed everything that happens. We respect human rights. And Shakira and Dua Lipa were supposed to play there, you know, to the open ceremony. And then they realized that they were not respecting this human rights. Like, there's no other word to say it. It's not just for a group, it's human rights. And they didn't because of this. So what do you think about all of this, Marianne?
So I understand that Qatar has their own culture, their own way of living, but again, they invited a global event to take place there. If they're going to invite people from all over to play a sport, the culture of the sport should not be stifled. They should be allowed to do what they normally do. Otherwise, it's really not the sport that it usually is. You know, and I think as far as the migrant workers, a lot of the ones that died were relatively young. And my thoughts on that is that their working conditions were probably very long hours, not enough food, not getting access to water. Their living conditions were poor. I know I heard of one that got electrocuted because of the way the electric outlet was in his apartment, and there was some sort of flooding that happened. I heard of one man who actually, he had just complained on social media, just casual, like, man, this is really tough. I don't like these working conditions. He was put in prison. So these people are not treated even as human. It's like they're not even treated humanely. They're treated like animals, and their basic needs weren't being met just to build this stadium. And like you said, Estefania, if they're not going to use it, you know, why use all these people and just break them down to create something? You know, I don't believe in doing that to people regardless, but especially creating something that they're not even going to use later. I mean, it's mind-boggling to me that anyone would be okay putting another human being in those conditions. Because my opinion is that every single life matters, every person matters. And I believe they should be treated fairly and with kindness and get access to the basic things that they need on the job and off the job. If they're going to be there, a lot of them coming there to work. I mean, there's families that lost their sons, you know, people that lost their husband, their father, because others were careless with the conditions that they put them in. And this could have been avoided if people had a lot more kindness and a lot more thought put into the way these people are treated. So I think that the way that they were treated when they were building, the migrant workers, and as well as people, the way they were treated when they came in to play the game. I think this place, Qatar, I think it is way behind. They're definitely behind the times. And I'm all about human rights, respect for everybody, every individual. There should be no discrimination. And I think that the way they treated the workers was a form of discrimination as well.
Can I say, do you think that FIFA should have stepped in, got involved, that FIFA should make sure that these migrant workers that are building the stadiums for the World Cup, that they were treated okay? Do you think some of this should fall back on FIFA?
I think everything. I think in first place, Qatar is such a small country, you know, it's I think even smaller than Connecticut. So everything is about power, money, and that's how they get to host this global event, because they have a lot of money. And so they don't care about anything else. And then FIFA, they care about money too, you know, like we were saying with the press, everything is about money and money and money. We are so inhuman just to think about the dollars or the money or the bills or anything, that we don't care about these poor workers that were, of course, just dying to build in a stadium that is not going to be used. And supposedly they're going to donate the chairs or stuff from the stadiums, but that doesn't make any sense for me. So yeah, I totally think FIFA should have stand, but I don't expect they would do that. You know, it's a lot of money for them too. So they were saying in the news before this happened that Qatar bought the World Cup. So they got it and they hosted and they say, okay, that's it. What do you think, Geoff, about this?
So this is my opinion. They have a lot of money. They're wealthy. And I feel like because they're wealthy and it's greed, look at the domino effect and the exposure of now the negative is on them, because they did not do it the right way. They treated the people so bad. They had them people working. They had the money. Why do y'all have these people working on the conditions that they were working in? So I feel like everything that they said was not truth. And because they didn't speak what they said they were going to do in truth, it's like a backlash for them. So, you know, money and greed, sometimes you get exposed in ways and people get hurt. And it's so unfortunate that people had to die in order for them to get exposed of who they really are, how they think, and how their mindset is when it comes to money. They'll do anything just to look good, regardless of the people that's below them, that's just poverty stricken and don't have it. They didn't even try to build them up to put jobs in place where they can have accommodations. I researched and I was shocked at their living arrangements. It was crazy. It was like back in times when, you know, it's just unconditional. You know, people live in those times because they don't have it. But when you have the wealth and you having people live like that, that's kind of crazy and beyond me. So I don't think it's so much of them catching up. I think it's just them being greedy, because if they're wealthy like that, they have the mindset to create that environment, that community that they created. I think they just being greedy, and look what happened from them being that way. They got exposed, and people, now the red flag is on them and they have to make the wrong right. And it's just crazy. But you know, money, greed is the root of all evil. It is what it is. So that's my opinion on it. I just felt like they got exposed, and now all the light is on them, and they need to honor, you know, people of different nationality, lesbianism, gay, whatever. It's a global thing. You cannot allow it just for them to come into your country and you dictate these rules when you signed the contract that you will allow these people to come and allow it to be a judge-free zone. To me, that's my opinion on it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Estefania.
No, I was just about to say that I think when sometimes we forget that we are all humans and we have a little bit of power, and you see someone in need, in this case, the workers, they were needing a job, they were needing the money, they were needing to feed their families, you take advantage of that. And I think that's what happened right here. They had the money. It's not like they didn't have the money and they need to do the job. They had the money, but they saw an opportunity and they say, okay, we're going to take advantage of you because we really don't care. And that's it. So I think that's despicable of us as human beings. And it's a bittersweet, because this, you know, the World Cup, it was something for me growing up that's so joyful. We watch it with my family together. It's like, it's a really big deal in my country. And right now, like after seeing all of this, it's really, really bittersweet, because I don't know if you know this, how can you enjoy something that is being held by this kind of people? So yeah, that's what I think.
I think it's exposed a lot because basically how the migrant workers were treated is like a fashion sweatshop. You know, it's back to the times where we had slaves, and that's basically what it is. Really bad living conditions, dangerous working and living conditions, little pay, taking advantage of people, and not caring about them as a human. They are just a machine. Doesn't matter if they die, I'll just get another one and replace it. It's just kind of put in the spotlight how some nations are still like we were when we had slaves.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, it's a massive eye-opener, and it's a shock, you know, and it gets you thinking. You know, I know that some countries, they still stone people, and you just think, why are we putting this global event in a country that treats people like this? Because that's not okay. Are we saying that we think this is okay? Is FIFA saying that it's okay to have slave labor? Because that's what it is. These migrant workers were modern day slaves. And I think it's shocking for everybody who loves football to see that FIFA was okay with this, because they knew when they chose Qatar. I mean, Qatar obviously bought it. They've got a lot of money. They have oil. So they're like, here, have the dollars, we'll have this event. But doesn't FIFA have some blame for this? Because they must have knowing the country's culture, that there was a massive risk for all this sort of thing happening. And, you know, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth about FIFA, because why choose this country? Why choose a country that's discriminating against human rights, that is okay with sweatshops and slave labor, and, you know, women should walk 20 paces behind men and stay covered up, and they're not equal. So I think it goes down to greed and everything else. And I think FIFA is also at fault, and everybody on the board of, you know, executives, whatever, that chooses where the World Cup is, they need to learn from this. And I think they need to be more conscious in the future, because this has left a really bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. And yes, we love watching the sport. You know, I was super excited today because England won. You know, like Estefania, I'm from a football nation, you know, and it's our favorite sport in the UK. But the whole backdrop of the event sours it, and it sours it big time, and it's not a good moment for the sport. It's not a good moment for FIFA. And I think, you know, that I'm going to say that people should have, the soccer captains should have gone out with the One Love armbands. They should have just given the big middle finger to Qatar and said, you know what, this is our sport. We are embracing everybody that plays in the sport, you know, whether they are part of the LGBTQ community or whether they're straight or whatever. We are all about one, and we're accepting, and we are going to show it off. And I really think that they, you know, collectively, all the captains should have just said, F it to Qatar and their many rules and regulations, and gone out there and just showcase the sport for what it is. Right. Finally, we're going to go to Marianne and her question. So Marianne, over to you.
We've had a lot of heavy stuff, a lot of heavy topics on this episode. So I'm going to end with a lighter topic, lighter-hearted, rather. My question is, what is an obstacle in your personal life that you have faced, that you overcame? How did you overcome it, and what did you learn? I'm going to start with Estefania.
Okay, for me, I think that the hardest obstacle, like I've been through in my life, is losing someone or the most important person in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have like the exact answer, or, you know, like what you should do to overcome grief. But for me, I think if I learned one thing, is that we are resilient.
Yeah.
And we don't know how strong we are until we have to be. So
Exactly.
the thing I would say is just any situation that you're going through right now and you're trying to deal with it, just trust yourself, because your body, your mind, your soul will know how to go through that. I'm sure that's what I've learned when I thought that I couldn't handle this, and just my nature told me like what to do. I like my body showed me how strong I am, how resilient I can be. So I think we are all the same. So that's what that would be my advice for any difficult situation.
All right. I completely agree with you. My next one, I'm going to go with you, Kat.
Okay, so I'm going to say that life is one long bumpy road. It really is. It is. I'm going to say life isn't nice. Life can be cruel at times. It can also be absolutely amazing. But you're going to get obstacle after obstacle after obstacle. There's always going to be stuff that happens to you. And there's lots of different things. I mean, I've been very open and honest on this talk show in the past and said, you know, I've had eating disorders and I've had depression, alopecia, I lost all my hair. And I'm going to say...
Me too. Wow.
So,
sorry.
I am 3 years since I was totally bald. Anyway, but I'm going to say that we all have this stuff, and every day is a work in progress. Like for me, it's if you have had an eating disorder and you've had a really severe one, every day you get up and you make a choice. You make a choice to stay in recovery. If you're an alcoholic, if you're a drug addict, you make a choice to live that day the best you can. And for me, one thing I've learned with depression, eating disorders, you know, my mum had some suicide attempts growing up, you know, my sister's a heroin addict. It's take every day as it comes, deal with it, do something nice for yourself. You know, like every day I have to work on managing depression or whatever, you know, I do lack serotonin. So every day I make a conscious choice. I get out of bed, I get on my spin bike and I get my happy endorphins going. And I'm like, yep, I can conquer everything today. But I make a personal choice to be as happy and as healthy as I can. I'm not going to say that I'm never going to have an anorexic episode again, or I'm never going to plunge down to the deepest, darkest pits of the earth again, because, you know, this year has taught me a lot. I lost my horse, I lost my dog. Can't talk about that any further because I'm going to cry. But I sunk into heavy depression. I did lose a lot of weight again. And I really struggled, but I made the decision every day to get up, put one foot in front of the other, do something positive for myself. You know, I buried myself in work for a while because that was the one good thing I had. And it was the one thing that I believed in. And, you know, for example, this show, I absolutely am so passionate about doing it because, one, I love all the hosts on here. Two, I feel worthwhile doing it. And I love hosting, you know, it's something I look forward to every week. And I think as people, you know, we're never going to be without challenges. You have to find little things in your life that you're passionate about. Go and sniff a rose, you know, light a candle, do stuff like that. Life isn't perfect, accept it. You're not perfect. You know, Everybody has their flaws. I don't think you can say that I've overcome something because life's not about that. I think my biggest advice I would give somebody else is just get up, have the best day that you can and be the best person you can that day. If you stumble and fall down, that's okay. Don't beat yourself up, get up. Tomorrow's a new day. You know, no one's perfect. Life is this, it is a roller coaster. And I think, you know, have a small group of good people in your life that will accept you, warts and all, whether or not, you know, you're crying your eyes out, you're laughing. Just have someone who accepts you and is going to hold your hand in the most horrific times and celebrate with you in the most joyful occasions. And I think that's what life's about. I don't think we can say that we can necessarily overcome everything. I just say that you make a conscious choice every day to have the best day that you can. Because life's not perfect, we're not perfect, and we live in this roller coaster. You know, it's not a Barbie world, put it that way. It's not all pink glitter. There's a lot of dark, there's a lot of grey, there's a lot of stuff outside our control, which does affect us. And, you know, you just got to get up and handle it the best you can. And if you don't handle it very well, then that's fine. You know, never punish yourself, celebrate who you are and the things that you like about yourself, and celebrate, you know, the good things you did today. Whether or not, you know, it's doing your laundry, I've done something positive today, I'm going into, you know, getting into a clean bed tonight. Just, you know, that celebrate every little task is what I'm going to say. And don't dwell on the negatives, because that's when you start going downhill.
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts.
Awesome. All right, Jeff, what about you?
Okay, so life is a journey. This year, 2022, was a little rough for me. My family did a big transition where they left. My sister wound up in Carolina. My mom wound up in Bradford. And my lifeline was always my family. And I learned in this year that I have independence. And sometimes you think that you can't really, like, if you have a purpose in things, like I'm a designer. I always thought that my family would be a part of my journey. But sometimes they're not going where I'm going because they're not trying to do what I want to do. And you can hinder yourself, and I was hindering myself. But when they left, I found out that they're always going to be there, but I found my happy place. I found out that I can live and go on without them. You know, at the beginning when it was happening, it was not easy. But just like Kat said, I got up each day, and each day it got easier and it got better. And now when I do see them, I'm happy to see them, but I also know how to enjoy not, you know, living my life without them. And I found new friends, people that came in my life that are in my life now that are major in my life, that are such blessings, you know. So life is a journey. And I feel like sometimes we have to, as people, not allow ourselves to be so paralyzed to continue moving forward, because it's not as bad as we think it is. Sometimes in our mind, we portray that it's gonna, oh my God, life is over. I can't move. And when we get up and we get past that mark, we're shocked, like, okay, it's not really that bad. You know, they're still here. They're just not here when they're so reachable for you, but you can go see them, you can visit them. So I learned that. I'm learning that I'm not going to allow myself to be so paralyzed in life that I can't not just allow me to go through the process to see the outcome of what's in front of me. And those are the things I'm learning, and I'm overcoming, as learning to accept what's going on at the moment. It's not always going to be like that. Continue moving forward. And there is a sun, there is light behind the dark tunnel that may be in your mind. So I just want to encourage somebody today that, you know, it's not bad as what you think. It's just a moment. And once that moment is over, you'll look back on it and you'll be able to tell somebody to encourage them, or laugh about it and say, I can't believe that I was in that place and thinking that I was like, my life is over, I'm dead. And you're still living and enjoying life, and things are better. So come on, keep it moving. That's all I say. Get up and keep it moving.
That's right. That's amazing. I will share mine very quickly. Probably the biggest obstacle I ever faced was I am adopted. A lot of people don't know that. And as a young adult, I decided to find my family. Most of it went well, and the majority of them are part of my life, and it's been wonderful. However, and I'm not going to name names, I'm not going to say who, but there was a person who I experienced major rejection from. And someone connected to this person told me that this person basically said, you are an accident. We don't want you. Stay away from us. I was an embarrassment. I was shunned. It was like I was treated as though I had a disease. And it has been over 12 years now. And Kat, you made a very interesting point, that sometimes it's like you don't fully overcome, you just keep going. And I agree with you there, because this was the darkest point of my life, when you're told that you're a mistake and that they don't want you, that they don't love you. the people that shared blood with you want you gone and don't want anything to do with you, it hurts in a way that that no other pain can touch. And I have spent the last 12 years trying to heal from it. And it's a continual process. It is a daily choice to get up. But what I try to do is turn the pain into a purpose. I do rescue animals now. I rescue the ones that nobody wants. I take in the ones that are misfits, just like me. I take the ones that they weren't wanted. They were thrown away. They were thought of as a mistake. And I turn them into something beautiful. And my most recent was a rescued horse named Teddy. And he was almost dead when he got here. And it has been amazing to see him bloom and his personality come out. And some people say, well, they're just animals, but they're not to me. They saved my life. Not being loved by somebody that you really wanted to love you, it can make you not want to live. I'm just going to be honest. But when you have something to live for, it makes all the difference. So rescuing these animals has been life-saving for me and life-saving for them too. So that's probably my biggest obstacle. And Cat, as you said, it's a continual journey of choosing to get up, choosing to make the best of it, and choosing to press forward. I have good days, I have bad days, but I still have days. So that's a good thing.
Yes.
I'm going to say how wonderful animals are. I mean, obviously, as we all know, I've been through my stuff in life, and I'm going to say it was my horse and my dog who were my chosen family. They gave me a reason every day. They gave me a reason to get up. They were my kids, they gave me purpose, and they made me feel good about myself because I was the best mum I could have been to them. And, losing them this year, it was like learning to crawl again, learning to walk again, because suddenly there's just me, and don't want to get upset, but the purpose was gone. And I think, it was a massive shock to just suddenly have to learn to live again without my crutch,
Yeah.
And so yeah, life is never going to be perfect. You're going to have the ups and the downs, but you make a decision to keep going and have the best that you can do. And I'm so sorry, Marianne, that you were rejected. I know how awful that is. Like one of my nephews, his dad will have nothing to do with him because of my sister, and the rejection he felt. I can only imagine how
it's life-changing. It is.
Yeah. It's just, I have no words for that. I just feel very sorry for them because they have missed out on the most amazing, amazing human, and you really, really are amazing. And your adoptive family was so, so, so lucky to have you. And I think that, family are the people that brought you up, and, your blood relative that pushed you away, they missed out. They really missed out.
Thank you so much.
Definitely not a reflection on you at all, because you are this amazing, bright, shining light with a massive, massive heart. And all those animals that you rescue are so, so, so lucky to have someone like you, someone with so much love to give, who cares so much and is taking the misfits and blossoming the most amazing flowers.
Beautiful.
So, yeah.
Thank you so much.
I think we all are family now.
Yes, absolutely.
It's crazy because we all have went through so much in our journey, but when we look back on it, Kat, you were talking about, you lost your dog and all that, and that's unfortunate. And then Marianne talking about, her family member rejecting her, but the journey has created y'all are my family. To be able to get up here and enjoy people that I thought I would never meet, on this level, and to be able to just conversate with y'all. And when I leave here, it's just a beautiful thing. And family is life, and family are just people that come together that can relate. And we're relating and we're talking about our story, about our life and issues of people that are going through stuff and how we can change the narrative through FNL. And it's a beautiful thing, just to hear, some of the things. Like my thing is, everybody knows I'm a minister, but my thing is love. My ministry is manly love to human race. And I'm always just out there trying to help the human race because like, Marianne I went through rejection, called out my name and all the crazy stuff growing up as a child, a little fat boy. And, but as I got older, I just learned to accept who I am in my older age. I've learned to accept who I am, and it's becoming good because I'm accepting me. I can get up here on FNL and be on the camera and not be the shy, because they know me when I first got up here. I didn't have much to say. I was like, to be able to blossom over the years from FNL and be able to conversate and just feel so comfortable with the people that are around me. It's a blessing. So that's on my note, we're helpers to one another. And any way, form, if y'all need me, just call me. I love encouraging people, Cat. I'm here for you. I know what that is for someone to die, and it's just they're there and then they're not there. And we can get on here and we can talk, but once we get off here and you're in that place by yourself and you're looking for your dog, my sympathy goes out to you with that situation. And Marianne, just you with, the rejection, that always kind of hurts in the heart. I know what it is to get rejected. We can mask it and we can get new people, but every now and then that thing comes up of reject. You can feel it. You just like, it's like, okay, this doesn't feel good, but I'm just thankful for y'all. Y'all are wonderful people, and I am happy to be a part of the FNL family. I had to say that. I know we go.
I just want to say one last thing. Now we're romantic that we are. I just want to say that love is power. That's it.
Yes.
That is amazing. Yeah, love is definitely that. And I see it in all of y'all. And the smiles, oh my God. I'm happy. That's all I got to say, y'all.
I'm just going to say that, family are the people that we choose. And on that note, I want to thank our amazing, beautiful audience, because you are a massive part of the FNL Network family, and we love you and we appreciate you. And we really enjoy having you here with us every single week. So that's all from us on this edition of the FNL Network Talk Show. I think we've talked a lot. We've had some very passionate conversations. I want to thank my panel of hosts, Jeff, Marianne, and Estefania. It's been a really lovely, fantastic episode. So that's all for us at the FNL Network Talk Show. We're going to see you next time.